So good morning from the Isle of Man. It is an absolute beautiful day. You can see the port of Douglas there in the background, beautiful and clear. There's a gentle breeze. It's perfect racing conditions. So Steve is just untying the awnings. I'm cooking bacon sandwiches. Kevin has been for his morning constitutional already. So this morning, folks, uncertain of what time scrutineering is at present, but Steve is out in the second session this afternoon and the second session this evening. So as far as I'm aware, it will be Steve will go out first of all on the 3D Moto race prepped Aprilia RS660 and try and get 2 laps out on that, and then come in and do a single lap on either the Drixton or the little NC29. And then of course then there's this evening session, and hopefully he can do the same game plan but with 2 laps on one of the smaller bikes and then 1 lap on the Aprilia. Steve has already qualified. He has done 6 laps, 2 on each bike. He's currently 22nd in the junior class with a lap time of 1:06. He is currently the fastest 350 in the senior classic. Most of the bikes there are 500s with a few 350s, and I'm not entirely sure of where Steve is in the ultra lightweight class. He did a 1:01 lap on the first afternoon of practice, so he's hoping to get back out today and improve his lap times. So best go and finish those bacon sandwiches. I know Kevin is desperate for one, and get ready for practice.
Pit lane, pit stop demonstration for you. For any of you folks that have never done one before, I can see around there are some people that have been here and done it before as well, but it's always a nice little bit of a refresher for anybody that just wants a bit of, you know, to remember how to do it, because it's been a year or so since we've done it. Okay, so there's 2 little things really that we can in here. There's one for the rider. Have we got any riders here? Yeah, and obviously we've got the pit crew as well. Okay, so it's pressure on both of yous really. Okay, for the rider, I love the pit stop because it was a time to rest. Okay, so ladies and gents that are riding, this is the one place in the race that you can actually relax for 20-30 seconds. Okay, the rest of the time you cannot take your eye off the ball, but here you can actually relax, get some air into your lungs, get some fluid into you, get some drink into you. Again, make sure your drink bottle has a big straw in it that you can get underneath your helmet. Okay, so ultimately that's all you have to do as a rider is relax, let the boys work away. Okay, don't you be trying to have to do it as well, thinking, well, I need to do this and do that and tighten the chain or anything like that. You literally just sit on the bike and let the lads do the work, let the lads work around you. Okay, like I say, your drinks bottle needs to be, for me, that's all I wanted. I'd been 2 laps scratching around the hair. All I wanted was a drink. Okay, so I just want to get that drinks bottle to me as quick as possible so I can get it into me gob and get some fluid in me. Okay, I've seen it before where lads haven't had a straw and they're trying to pour a water bottle through the eyes and they're pulling the helmet down. And honestly, just make it easy for yourself. Just go around the way and you get some Flow Flex, just put it onto a drinks bottle, bit of duct tape, just so you can get it in, so you can get some fluid into your lungs. Okay, again, everybody has different stuff. Sometimes they have these isotonic drinks and all these things that replace your salts and fluids and all this rubbish. For me, it was just plain water, because I've tried the pouches and the gels. By the time you get halfway around the 3rd lap, your mouth's gone like a furry thing. Do you know what I mean? You can't. So the water is your body's most natural thing. So it's just, you want to try and replenish your fluids as best as possible. So for me, that's what I always loved and used. Okay, so again, for the rider, he ultimately just wants to sit there, and when we bring the bike in a minute, I'll show you where you want to be located on the bike and stuff like that. But ultimately, just let your pit crew work away. Okay, for your 3 other pit crew, ultimately you want the fuel man. Ultimately, he's again he's in charge of the fuel filler, okay? So that's his sole job again, is just to basically get that fuel into the tank. He doesn't want to be trying to undo the fuel cap at the same time as trying to guide it in. That's one of your other men need to be doing that. So you want to designate your jobs to each one of your pit crew and say, right, okay, you're in charge of the screen, you're in charge of handing them the water bottle, you're the fireman, you're the fuel man, okay? So it's literally just making sure that everybody knows before your rider arrives which job they've got, okay? So that's always good to have. So your fuel man, ultimately, here's your fuel hose, and this will stay here all day, all night, and then leave it all out so you can come up and play with it if that's your thing. If you can't sleep at night, you want to play with someone's hose, you can play with this and feel it, because it is quite heavy, okay? Especially when there's fuel in here. There's over 2 litres of fuel in this pipe, believe it or not. You wouldn't think so, but there's 2 litres of fuel in here. Your fuel as well, these Bowsers take about 50 odd litres of fuel. The more fuel you put in it, the quicker it'll come out. It's gravity fed, okay? So you want to have a good head. You want to have a good head of fuel on top of it, okay? So you think, well, yeah, it's going to use 18 litres for 2 laps. I'll just put 18 litres in it. Put 30 litres in it, 40 litres in it. So it's actually forcing it through, okay? So you want it in as quick as possible, remember. So just try to remember that, okay? Also as well, when you do, these have all been clean checks. They've all been checked for speed. We did all these before TT. After the James Hillier incident about 10 years ago, they all have to be checked every year now, because they used to just be put in a shed, pulled back out again, whereas now they have to be tested for time. It's a very time consuming job to test the flow rate and all that sort of stuff. So they all get done just before the TT, okay? So when you come to put your fuel in, when the klaxon goes for your sign for your fuel filling, what happened with the James Hillier incident, basically people used the blue towel, you know, the blue tissue, and basically they had run round the thing and dropped a bit of blue towel. It broken off and degraded and dropped into the filler when they were cleaning it. That then had dropped down through into the nozzle of the gun. When we stripped it down, that's what it was. It was a bit of blue rag, bit of blue towel, and it blocked to stop the flow, okay? So again, just make sure that it's nice and clean. It should be clean, because the IDG, our course contractors, have cleaned them all anyway prior to the event, but just have a quick double check when you lift the lid up, make sure that there's no debris or shite in it, okay? So when you're filling it, again, just make sure that when you're up the steps here filling it, none of your other pit crew, as you're setting up, stood here in case he spills it over the top, okay? So just stand clear again, use your brain, just stand clear just in case there's a bit of overspill as he's filling it. So you've got your filler full, you've got your 40 litres of fuel in it, 40, 50 litres of fuel, whatever you want to put into it. Your fuel cans can't stay here, they've got to be taken back out into the fuel storage area, which will be in Park Fermi. We haven't set that up yet, but that will be set up on race day. So as you're literally coming out of Scrutineering here now, on your right hand side where these first barriers are, that'll be the fuel storage area. So that's where you bring your fuel up and leave that in there, okay? And your empty cans go back into the fuel storage area. There can't be any bikes or anything going into there, okay? There we go, okay? So just one of your pit crew, generally the person who's going to give them the drink or do the fuel cap wants to be installed in front, just like this, okay? I've seen people in the past have like their national flag and all this shite to try and make, it's just getting in the way. Literally, your pit man can see him coming, he stands out, gets him to stop right into the front, right into his feet, okay? So basically you've got the fuel here now. The fuel man needs to have a towel or a good absorbent rag in his left hand, okay? Because ultimately you're going to take any spillage, okay? So just remember to have that in your hand. You've got your fuel man comes in, or the rider can do the fuel cap, whichever suits you, okay? So Ed, if you just open the cap there, okay, so I come now in with the fuel. I come in with the towel also, just in case my sausage fingers press the lever too early and it sprays everywhere. I literally go straight into the tank, and that's it, away it go. So at this point now, you've got to wait approximately 40 to 50 seconds, okay? You've got 40 to 50 seconds of fuel going in the tank. So at this point now, you're the team assistants now can start cleaning the screen, because again, the next thing I want after my water is visibility, okay? I want to see where I'm going. I've done 2 hard laps, loads of flies, I can't see where I'm going, my visor's full of flies. whether you've got a visor man doing that as well, or a tear off. Sometimes even, it depends on the day, sometimes you can go around, you just pull a tear off and you've got another tear off left and your visor's clear and you're fine, okay? So just work away on your screen. The rider at this point, maybe 15-20 seconds into it, has had enough of a drink. So literally, he just launches it into the pits, okay? Don't launch it that way into pit lane, obviously. Just throw it over this way, get out of the way, that's it, done and dusted, okay? So again, we're halfway through the pit stop now. Pretty much by this point, the screen's clean. The screen man has probably gone onto your visor and cleaning that, okay? So we're getting there. At this point now, the fuel man needs to be starting to keep an eye on the fuel level, because it's quite slow, but it's, you know, you still have to keep an eye on it. It's not just like, oh yes, well, I'm thinking, yeah, there's no clicker on it like a fuel filler. When it comes up too much, it's gonna keep flowing over, okay? So he's watching it. So he's got his rag with him. He's literally watching it. The rider at this point now, after he's had his drink, he's got some air into his lungs, he's relaxed a little bit. He's basically trying to do now is making sure that the run switch is on. He wants to make sure the ignition's on, because as he's come in, he switched the ignition off. If any of you have run on the key operated switch as well, they switch that off or something. So just make sure the rider has the ignition on the run switch. So riders, make sure it's in run position. Also, make sure it's in bottom gear with the clutch in, okay? So as it's coming up, as a rider, I'm reaching over to the clutch because I know that I'm going to get ready going very shortly, okay? So I'm anticipating that the fuel's coming up. So the fuel's coming up. So again, the fuel man has to use the towel, okay? Now again, as the fuel's coming up, the fuel man will then put the towel underneath the dispenser. Now he goes over the front of the bike, okay? This is a big must, okay? I've seen it again loads of times where the fuel man's gone like this. The fuel's gone over the rider's balls, eyes, visor. It's so easy to make a mistake this way, okay? So just try to get the fuel man to pull it forward over the front of the bike, okay? And that's his job done. The fuel man has finished. He's away. At this point, he's away, out of the way. So that's his job done. The fuel cap goes back down again. Again, don't get the fuel man to try to put it on. The rider will do that, or one of your pit crew, make your decision who wants to do that. It's down, it's in. The rider's already, Ed, if you just reach over and get the clutch, it's always in first gear. The rider's ready to go. As soon as that's gone, it's pretty much go. One of your pit crew is also going to be pushing him, again, just to help that clutch. Again, you don't want to be slipping the clutch too much, just to help him, to push him out down pit lane.
So folks, once again, it's time for technical inspection. The bikes have to go through the scrutineering bay every single day. And if you take them out of Parc Fermé, guess what? They go back through again. So today we have been asked to take belly pans off. So there's the Aprilia minus her belly pan. So there's Erin, the NC29, ready to go through scrutineering, again minus a belly pan. So that's both bikes quite safely and happily through technical inspection. Again. of the senior classic bikes and the senior Manx Grand Prix riders have now gone out, so just taking you for a quick wander round.
Attention paddock. Sorry about that little slight delay in proceedings, but we are going to now start practice again at 1:15. So 1 minute time, can we have the bikes up onto the south lap? Show on.
So the guys are now busy putting the belly pans back on the bike. So then the bikes will go on their tyre warmers. The insulation will go across the tank. As you can see, Joy is busy fitting, and that's to keep the tank cool in this heat.
Leave my tits alone or I'll throw you off the back.
Well folks, Steve was just about to go out on the Aprilia and someone noticed that there was stuff lying on the ground and there is a small leak somewhere. So luckily that was spotted. The 400 hasn't been on tyre warmers, however Steve is going to take that out and go and do 2 laps on her. So the first one he's going to have to take it a little bit steady for a little while and then hopefully be able to get 1 good flying lap in.
What do you get, 97? Hey, sorry. Flying that now, isn't it?
So Steve has just done 2 laps on the 400 and is now just going out on the Aprilia. So the Aprilia is all fixed thanks to Scott and Mr. Higgerty. Well done, Steve. He's just done a 108. That's absolutely brilliant. I am so proud of him. So proud. Did I say I'm proud of my husband? I am very proud of my husband.
Move that over, yeah. Respect. What respect? Oh, just fucking out of shape. It's turned all over the place. I think what makes it worse is getting off of the 400. Yeah, true.
Apart from that,
It can't have been too bad. Well, during the Sunday. And 2 laps. Yeah. So, be interested to see what we put in it. How much is left. Well, it's on,
So it made it on fuel. That was the most
fuel
important
light's
thing.
flashing at me. Right. How long is it flashing at me for?
I only noticed it up over the mountain.
Right, okay.
But it's really weird because it goes down to like 2 bars and then 1 bar and it just goes straight away. But it stayed on going over the start finish for the second lap. It was like 3/4 of the tank. It was safe. And then, obviously, then I thought, bloody hell, I'm done a lap and I've got over half a tank left.
Well, you were 17th overall in that session with a 108.032.
I got pulled my finger out my arse and then I...
time, which is great. Ready for Saturday's race. So how was that then? Was that okay?
Yeah.
Another 93 mile an hour lap?
What, 92?
93. Wash your ears out. 93.
Okay.
So I think you are still the fastest 350 out there, but we'll have to check and wait later this evening.
That's good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, you're going to get out them leathers?
Yeah. Food.
And food.
Cake.